Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Joel Chestnut here with episode number 16. We're still in Paris, and I hope we are having a good time. Olympics are really getting going here. We are on the track. Activities are pretty hot, and the temperatures are incredible. I think for sprinters, I don't know what the marathons and the long distance guys will say about that. But again, let's see what is going on. What has just happened? Let's talk about Kenya again. Kenya was well represented in the walking race, the 20-kilometer event. We have Samuel Gadimba. I know it's not a glamorous event for Kenyans, but I'll talk about any Kenyan I see in the Olympics if I can. Samuel Gadimba, he hails from Nyeri. Hey. Those sides, the central part of Kenya. Very proud of the guy, the first guy to really get out there and represent Kenya, let the flag fly. He did very well in a very technical and savvy and brutal event. I was fascinated by watching that. I realized that it's not as simple as walking, because the technicality comes in, because your foot has to be on the ground one foot has to be on the ground at all time. And there's a private eye watching for that. Officials are just keeping an eye on those movements. And if you are not on the ground, they're gonna ground you for 2 minutes after 3 warnings. So you lose almost 500 meters. You're in what they call timeout zone for 2 minutes in this race, and it's really not good. So you lose ground, you lose time, and hopefully you recover and get back. If you're at the top at that time when they pull you out, and I saw this, most people just say, oh, I'm injured, I'm done, because you can never really make up for those grounds you lose. It's a very tough event. I really appreciate those athletes, and the weather hasn't been very good for long distance. It's been very warm out there in Paris. But it was one of those events that you watch and you really appreciate people like Samuel Gadimba, the fact that he's from Kenya. I know we walk in Kenya, but when you talk of technicality being brought into play, is something else. He was doing okay. Samuel was doing great the first early parts of the race until the last 5 kilometers, where I think things caught up with him, and he faded and finished 22nd place. Not a bad place, according to the times. He walked about, I'm used to running, he walked about an hour plus. I think it was his season best. Hey, congratulations, young man. Congratulations, Samuel Gadimba. By the way, the event was won by an Ecuadorian who celebrated like Cristiano Ronaldo move at the end of the race. It was classy. I like that. I like when small countries just finish that thing, gets gold, and they just have their moment. I forgot his name. What is his name? Let me find out. Brian Bintado. I like to mention these guys. Second place, I think, was Brazil, and then Spain was third. It was an event that I really enjoyed watching, and I enjoy watching different things, because this is a time you really learn a lot about humanity. And I'll mention that because Olympics has taught me one thing. It's more than Nike, it's more than Coca-Cola, it's more than Adidas or the big corporations that show up on this big stage. Is about humanity. And I really embrace that at the core, seeing all kinds of humanity just showcasing their talent, their passion, and some of them are really representing more causes than just running or participating. And I applaud these athletes, these women and men and anybody in between. So great. So that's walking race for you, 20 kilometers. I was fascinated by it from the get-go. I warned you about me talking about it, which I do now. And and then after that, we went to the track where things are happening. 100 meters, going through the rounds. The top runners are doing their thing. They're going through the rounds. There's nothing to talk about there for me. I'll go to the 1500 meters, where I'm always interested in the middle distance, and it was good stuff. Josh Carr, the Brit, always. I think there's something to watch here in the 1500, my friends. If you are a fan of 1500, this is gonna be some good rounds. He won his heat. He just laid back and did his thing. I was worried for Brian Coleman, the Kenyan. Very worried. You get worried because there's one thing you should notice. They have a new thing now in these rounds where only top 6 make it to the next round, and you have to be up there. And so if it is top 6, can be very interesting and tactical. And good finishers will always make that. It doesn't just mean you're a good finisher. You have to be in the right position at the right time. And I was watching this young man, Brian Coleman. Even look at Neguse. Neguse, I'm talking of the American, barely makes it. The American middle distance guy barely makes it. He's boxed in at the end there, and it was something to watch, because these rounds can be very interesting. When you think you're in, you could be out. And so you have those antagonists and the big dogs making it the next round. George Carr, Brian Coleman, Neguse. And of course you had Timothy Cheruiyot, whom I've talked much about him in the beginning of these episodes we've been talking about. He makes it, but he barely makes it too, because he's a crowded field, and these are top athletes. These are top, well-trained, high performance of athletes. So he makes it, great. And then we had, I think there's another Kenyan who made it, Raymond Cheruiyot. I think he makes it. At first I was commenting in my own head, look at how naive he is. What is he doing back there? Because if you are back there and you have about 12 or so athletes on the field, it's a crowded field. So you have to be at the right place at the right time. He makes it. So with the 3 runners from Kenya make it. And of course, the big boy from Norway, the Norwegian juggernaut, Jacob Egerbisten. He's something else, man. He just doesn't care. He's arrogant, he's classy, but you have to admire this talent. He lays back, he just makes people, he lets people do their thing, and then he comes home, he qualifies. It doesn't matter, he's in the next round. There's something that you should check out this. This is fascinating. So top 6 make it to the next round. So 1, 2, 3 to 6, right? If you are the loser, I wouldn't make the top 6. This Paris, these Olympics has introduced something. They call it repechage. I can't even say repechage. I found out today. So there's what they call, if you didn't make the top 6, there's a route you can take. They call it loser's route. I call it loser's route. Redemption route. Redemption. I talk of redemption song. Bob Marley. So if you don't make the top 6, you can go to the next round, but you have to race more. So these guys who didn't make the top 6, they have another chance to run, but they'll be running more rounds to make the semifinal. So I found that today, and they call it the lucky losers. Well, Olympics is just a place to be, honestly. It's a place to be. I think for me, when you think about it, some of these guys, it could be they get tripped, they fall. It could be something happens that doesn't make you get to the next level or the next round. So they give you a redemption route, but you have to do more now to get to the next level. I think it's a good thing. It's good for fans. It's good for small countries. It's good for athletes who might have just one of those moments where something doesn't happen, so they'll give you a second chance. Life is full of second chances. Repechage, I can't even say it, but I can say bonjour, because we're in Paris, and Paris has surprised us. From the opening ceremony, Lady Gaga and everybody else, to that library scene. You remember that? Some of you are like, what's going on? We are in Paris. More surprises to come. I suspect there'll be more. That was 20 kilometers walk with Samuel Gadiba, Timothy Cheruiyot, Brian Coleman, and Raymond Cheruiyot, and the rest of the big shots in the 1500 meters. Those were the early rounds. The big ones made it. And by the way, did you see that guy from Ethiopia? He's 19 years old. I forgot his name, Gachi, something like that. He's 19. He celebrates winning the rounds as if he's won the race. That's what Olympics all about. If you are 19, you're allowed to do that. I saw another sprinter from a small country. He was in tears. That's what Olympics all about. Let's get emotional. Let it happen. Again, episode number 16. More to be talked about. Repertoire.